The only conflict is the main story is basically what are Kate and Joe gonna do. There's no other. There's no other side
They're gonna
conflict.
fuck. They're
Yeah.
gonna fuck.
Moose shit! Welcome to Moose Shit, where we spout bullshit. My name is Moose, and I'm joined by my charismatic curators, Al and Coob. How are you guys doing today? Actually, don't answer
Nice
that. We are
stutter.
short on time.
Nice
But
stutter.
while we're talking about charismatic
Nice
curators,
stutter.
let's talk about you. What?
Nice stutter.
Oh my fucking god, fuck off. We are back at it again today, reviewing the second half of season 4 of You. So, how did you guys feel about it? One word.
Um.
Enthralling.
Wow, that is a good word. Um. Hold on. Let me find a big word. Hold on.
Mine
Why
is
is this guy?
vindicated.
Why is this guy here, bro?
Mine is stellar.
He searched up Stellar.
No, I searched up impressive synonyms, and none of this is really. I mean, it was like spectacular. It's like it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't breathtaking. It wasn't first class. It wasn't stunning. It wasn't monumental. It was stellar.
Sure.
Again, not that great of a word. So, Coob, I'll throw it to you. Why was it so enthralling?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what enthralling means exactly. I just thought it was really good. I thought they did a good job to save it from the shitter that I thought it was gonna be.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. And I liked the ending. I was a
Yeah, I
big
had
fan of the
the
end.
I had the same reaction. I'm like, man, I was not interested in you after the first half of the season. I just felt like it was very disappointing, but the second half of the season really picked it up. I really got the sense that you really understood its audience and its viewers, because everything that I wanted from the second half of the season, everything I wanted from you was basically in the second half of the season.
Wow. Like, what was that thing about the Edgar Allan Poe thing that you were saying before?
So I was talking about in the first half of the season, and that's this is just in general in you. When you have something that's based off a book and you have a character that's basically a stand-in for the author, someone who's very interested in literature, you know that the literature they're going to be talking about is going to be playing in some way, shape, or form into the story. So, for um, for example, some of the books that I saw were Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There was Edgar Allan Poe's, what was that book called? What was that story called? It's the old man in the floorboards. The guy got killed because of his eye.
Telltale Heart.
Oh,
Telltale Heart. Yes, correct.
I thought it
And
was
other
Finding
stories.
Nemo.
uh,
Finding
and
Nemo.
and just other stories within like the season that they talk about or that you can at least see the cover for. And each of those stories plays like a role in informing you what you should be on the lookout and what's actually happening in the season. So I really thought that was really good attention to detail um, by the cast and crew. I really enjoyed that.
I also found out that the actor who plays Joe, Badgley,
And
it
Badgley.
Yes.
was a producer on the show as well. So he's like directing and had a say in where the show would go.
Yeah, I feel like that's true about a lot of shows, especially nowadays. Like if you get a big enough actor, they're gonna be the ones who are gonna be hands on that role.
I
Um,
also
like
director credits are kind of just like, to be honest. Like if you have like any sort of say in what Moose said is like if you are a big name, they'll give you a director credit.
yeah, like Tom Cruise. What did not come? Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel did not come up with the Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious franchise, respectively, but they are now both producers on their franchises just because
It,
they've been there for so long. And I don't know about they don't really have like because I feel like Vin Diesel and Tom Cruise, at least, they're very hands-on with their franchises. Like Vin Diesel talks about it all the time because that's the only franchise of his that makes money.
No, they definitely play a role, but like people think when somebody has a director credit, like in this scenario, I bet when somebody sees that, oh my god, like Penn Badgley is also a director on this, he's like they give them a lot more credit than like obviously all I'm saying like Vin Diesel is a director on Fast and Furious, and the Fast and Furious movies are fucking dog shit. That's not like something crazy. I don't know if you guys are big fans of Fast and Furious,
We
so
have
I don't know
not.
if that
I am
offended
not.
you, Familia.
Someone in the audience is probably though.
My
No,
brother is. So
I feel like even the people who are fans of the franchise understand that Fast and Furious is dog shit, and they know that, and that's what they like about it.
no, literally, like my friends and my brother watch that, and they just use it for memes because it's so shitty that there's so many fucking memes from the. I remember one time we went to my friend's house and just watched like a compilation of like stupid shit, like cringiest lines from Fast and Furious, and like some of them hurt, bro. Like some of them were like painful to listen to.
Okay. Anyways, back to you. Um, so I feel like overall, this is a very big improvement, and the Rotten Tomatoes scores really show it. In compared to all the seasons, this season ranks third on Rotten Tomatoes. Second is season 3. First is season 1, and Rotten Tomatoes did not like season 2.
Hmm.
Which I think is fair. I think I just love Victoria Perdetti as Love, and so that's why season 3 is my best. And I would rank season 4 higher than season 1. That's just because
Really?
I was not very interested in
But
the love
being
story, and
honest,
that's really all that season 1 has to offer.
In the backstory.
I
Like
don't like
with
like honestly, I oh my bad. I
no,
don't
go ahead.
like in the first two seasons they spent a lot of time developing. They had to develop two characters pretty much, right? But they have to do it from a weird perspective because you're developing Joe from his perspective, and then you also are developing his love interest from his perspective since he's the main character. And like the way that you're learning about them is by like whatever ways he's stalking. So like
Hmm.
it's a lot different from, and I feel like in season 3 they're like the new characters that you're meeting. It's not important to see things from their perspective because all their interactions are taking place in from Joe's perspective. And then in season 4, it's kind of the same thing. And then the one person that you need to know about, they don't like give you all the information about Kate, but then like they dropped a bombshell like as it goes on, and it gives you like a good idea of what kind of person she actually is. So I like that better. You don't have to waste time with like learning about the characters because they're already, or it's not as important to the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Because like with the first half of the season, I think I didn't realize that at the time, but with the second half of the season now out, it really draws to the issue of that first half of the season. I feel like it was focused way too much on what's Joe's perspective, and Joe's perspective is now just not interesting since we've gotten basically 2.5 seasons worth of it. We had the first 2 seasons plus half of season 3 was focused on his perspective. So at this point, it's
yeah,
just not an interesting perspective to be in. But now with the second half of season 4, focusing on some of the more side characters, such as Nadia and other characters that you see and meet, I feel like that offers a fresh take on something that I was getting really tired of towards the first half.
Hmm. And I was gonna say also within the first 3 seasons, Joe was had some good qualities about him and made you think he was sort of likable in some respects. And then this second half, just basically got rid of all the good qualities.
I love that so much. I love that part of so much. The fact
Yeah.
that they got rid of all of it, because now at least I get to understand what I'm myself as a viewer, what I'm supposed to be doing with the show. Now
It
I
almost makes
know.
me like think, why was I ever rooting for him in the first place? Just like looking back at all the shit that has happened, it's like, was he really ever good? It was very well done.
And I feel like that's Penn Badgley's hand in it, because he has said multiple times that he hates Joe, like
Yeah, I
with
had
a
seen that.
passion. So I feel like he said, okay, please, no more of this sitting on a fence about whether or not Joe's a good guy or a bad guy. Pick a lane, and we're gonna stick with it now.
Yep.
Do you guys have any more thoughts before we get into spoilers?
Nope.
I'm ready to go into spoilers.
All right.
Spoilers.
So I want to
in
do this
5,
episode by episode.
4,
Oh.
3, 2, 1. I can't believe Joe met Henry, and Henry said, "Ha ha ha! Funny, funny, funny! Goo goo gaga."
I don't remember that part.
I remembered it.
I must have had my eyes closed. Must have
Yeah.
blinked for that part.
I do like that Marianne is actually important. That was my biggest critique, and she actually came full circle. But anyways, we're gonna go episode by episode. So, 6th episode. It's called Best of Friends. It's when he looks at. This is when we first start questioning whether Reese is real, because he saw him in the press conference and Reese didn't look at him.
Oh wait, you're okay. So you're speaking as if we've explained what the major spoilers are. Do you want to say what the major spoilers are before we take it episode by episode?
What do you mean?
Like you're saying, oh, we're questioning whether or not Reese is real, as if that would mean anything to someone who hasn't.
Okay.
Stupid.
I mean,
So
everyone who's watching this knows.
Okay, but I mean, I think we should still bring everyone up onto the same page.
Okay. All right, man. Bring them up to the speed. You slow
Okay.
fucks.
So actual spoilers for season 4. It turns out when Joe left Marianne at the train station in the first half of season 4, he didn't actually leave her at the train station. He kidnapped her, kept on drugging her, and transported her into the infamous cage. From there, Marianne broke her arm, and Joe goes like, "Oh my god, I can't actually hurt someone who I love." And so basically he dissociates, creates an entire new personality, and attributes that new personality to be Reese Montrose, mayoral candidate, an actual person within the canon of the show, but the one that you have seen throughout first half of season 4 is a figment of his imagination. Joe is actually the one who's been killing everyone. He is the Eat the Rich killer. He killed Malcolm. He killed Gemma. He killed Simon. And he also framed people in regards to that. In the end, Nadia finds out that her professor is actually Joe Goldberg, so she finds Marianne. She helps Marianne escape from the cage, and was trying to at least expose Joe, but then Joe kills her friend, and Nadia goes to jail. Did I miss anything?
The whole Phoebe.
Phoebe's like, I'll get into my gripes with that Phoebe story, but and also
like the ending.
Yeah, so Joe tries to kill himself, ends up getting saved by police officers. He tells Kate that he's actually a killer. Kate goes like, "Oh, if you keep me good, I'll keep you good." And he's like, "Okay." Right after that, he kills Nadia's boyfriend. So keeping good, okay.
Crazy.
And then at the end, basically, Joe is back in New York, back in season 1 setting, and now has the entire world at the palm of his hands because Kate is rich now.
Okay. I'm actually, since we're already on this, fuck the going episode by episode, because I have shit to say. First off, I liked the ending, but I wish that they would have just ended it there. I don't know if they're implying that there is another season, a season 5, but I think it would have been a good ending if he just killed himself, honestly. But maybe that's
No,
not like politically correct, and like I would encourage suicide or something. But yeah, I think it would wrap everything up really nicely.
I
I
think.
actually like the
Sorry.
ending a lot because of what's it called? I actually would have agreed with you if they didn't end the season. So right, so there was like the what's it called? There was like when he was on the bridge, the first thing he did was throw that personality over. Right, he threw
Yes.
Reese
Mhm.
over, and then afterwards he jumps in. Right, so I was like, okay, finally this idiot's dead. Like, guy's a fucking murderer. He's gone. And then you see that he's back, and then at the end, when he looks into the glass, and then you see Reese's face
Reese.
there,
Yes.
I took it as like somebody made it out of the water, but it wasn't the personality that Joe wanted to make out of the water. It was that half of the personality, the one that he was trying to get
Whoa.
rid of, that made it out.
I
So
had
the actual
Different.
caring, loving, good Joe is just completely dead, and it's just Reese, which is the evil
Yeah,
Joe manifestation. That is
that's
interesting.
how I saw it.
So now it's just a complete villain story. And that's what I think too. It's just you're just
uh,
following. It's like a Jeffrey Dahmer thing almost.
I mean, but I had a different interpretation because at least in the show, they showed that Reese is sort of a bit of an idiot compared to Joe. And like Joe, like Reese has that conviction to kill people, but he doesn't have the creativity nor the mind that Joe does. And then they also talked about convergence of the two personalities throughout of it. So I thought it was just a convergence. I didn't think that Reese was the one who came out. Um, and that's because like in literature, whenever you get dunked into water, that usually means a baptism, and then it's death and rebirth. So I thought they both died, and then we're just reborn as a guy who has all the conviction to kill people and all the now powers to kill people. Because this is why I think it's fine that it continues, because this is entirely new Joe. In previous seasons, Joe always was hesitant to kill, and it was always a last resort. This Joe, it's the first thing that comes to his mind. He didn't have to kill Nadia's boyfriend. He could have explained it
You know,
in any other way, shape, or form. He decided to kill him as his first instinct. And on top of that, now he has all of Kate's resources. And the way they explain Kate's richness, first they said that she was the richest out of all her friends, and then they started talking about Tom Lockwood as an Illuminati rich type of guy. Like he could probably own every single thing on Earth if he wanted to. So a Joe that has all those resources and all the conviction is now much more interesting and dangerous compared to the last 3 seasons of Joe that we've seen. So I'm fine with it continuing in that sense.
okay. Um. Yeah. So that's like really the main story. The whole side story about Phoebe and the waitress, and like that sort of like I don't know if that was really needed. I don't know if that actually contributed anything. I
Um,
know they tried to tie it all together with Tom Lockwood killing uh the boyfriend for and it's like as revenge for taking advantage of Phoebe. But it's like I didn't even find it believable that Phoebe went that far off the deep end after that encounter with the waitress. So
so
maybe they were trying to draw parallels between the waitress being
yeah,
obsessed with Phoebe and Joe being obsessed with Reese. Like I got that part, but I
yeah,
don't know.
no, they
It
they
seemed like
said
too
it
much
in
there.
the show that Dawn they basically use that as like a tool to explain what erotomania is.
Yeah.
And I remember the line Reese said, um, "You put away a killer who has erotomania, but you're actually the killer. But you're right about one thing: the Eat the Rich killer has erotomania because he has erotomania with
Mm-hmm.
Reese,
With
and that was
Reese.
my biggest issue. Why does Reese play such a big role in all of this? Why is it that Joe chooses Reese as the manifestation of all of his dark impulse thoughts?
Mm,
Like whenever he talked about who he thought the worst person in the world was, it was always either Candace or Love, one of those two. So I felt that as soon as they show that Reese is actually fake, they could have had Reese transform into one of those other two characters, because that's someone that Joe actually has history with. He never met Reese. So I don't understand why he has such a big role in it. And that was
Yeah,
my
I
main
know he
issue with
was
that.
like listening to all his
Love,
podcasts and everything.
when love popped up, was that not? That was just his imagination. Was that not?
Yeah.
That was
Love.
Reese, right?
No. Because when he woke up, Reese was like, "Oh, that must have been a hell of a dream that you've had," which implies that Reese does not know what happens in Joe's mind, which also makes sense because all
Yes.
of Joe's inner monologue, thinking what his actions are, Reese has no idea as to what's happening,
Yeah,
which
because
is like
it's
true to
Yeah.
almost
Joe's
two
theory.
separate Joes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
oh,
that whole sequence with Love and Quinn and Beck and
mhm.
Gemma, for some reason, I don't know why Gemma was there, but Gemma was there. That whole sequence, that was not Reese. That
They
was
were
just
probably trying to
Joe's
get
own
Candace, and then
dream.
Candace wasn't available or wanted too much money or something. It's like, that's just
No,
another person that he killed.
I feel like that's just the crew knowing that season 2 was a mistake because there's no reference to season 2 anymore. They don't talk about Joe, all of his past kills. They never talk about what happened at Navrin. Nothing. They all talk about season 1 and season 3.
They do reference season 2 a little bit, like uh when Joe was trying to figure out how he was gonna get into Reese's house. He referenced like, "Oh, this is gonna be like." They're not as big references, but
Oh, yeah,
like they
yeah.
talk about Henderson and how he was gonna get into like. It was like this place is more secure than Henderson's place, but like,
Hmm.
but that's like small compared to the references, obviously from like bringing back the whole characters from other seasons is different
Also,
than
so when did you guys like finally realize that Reese was in his imagination? Because I know we talked about it in the beginning that that was a possibility, and a lot of the time we were, or for me, I was just saying like it's sort of a cheap way of doing things, basically saying like it's all a dream. I still sort of think that, but I think they did it well because they actually explained all the times where Joe did see Reese and how people were looking at him funny or that no one was actually in the room when he was there. So I thought they did a good job of actually explaining it and not just saying, "Oh, it's all a dream," whatever. They actually did explain it, so I like that part. But when did you guys actually realize, damn, this guy is all in his mind? Because I didn't actually figure it out until he was strangling him, or before he was strangling him, and then Reese
I
was
did
like, "I
not
don't know,
I
Marianne or something."
I did not figure out a single second before. I thought it was going to be Reese that had like the double identity. Like there's one Reese that actually doesn't know who Joe was, but then the other Reese does. But then they just showed
Mm,
that Joe is just crazy. Um, so I did not know Reese was because again, it goes back to my original issue. Reese means nothing to Joe. I don't know why he would
yeah.
fixate on him. Nothing even about Reese's backstory calls out to Joe that much. Like, oh, she had a shitty childhood. Big fucking deal. So does Kate. Why isn't Kate the one that he's fixating on in his mind?
well because Kate's the one that he loves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I actually don't know why he was so fixated. I know he was. I know he listened to all his podcasts, but like, why pick him out of everyone? So did he never met Reese ever?
No.
No.
He met him at the
The
funeral,
party?
and that's it. No, he
So he
wasn't
was
there at
never
the
at the
party.
party. Oh, that's right.
He was never
So
at the party. He was never at anything.
that could be a reason why. So they know that, well, he knows that Reese is affiliated with like this group, and he wasn't there. And since his like mind is so fucked up, he could have just imagined that he was there, and then that's where it started, and then that's where it continued from, I guess. But I that is a good question because there is no like definitive answer to me, at least.
No, but he was fixating on Reese when he had Marianne still, which got a whole sequence with Marianne and him just continuously drugging her. That was the creepiest shit I've ever seen. That like made
Like
my
when he
skin
was
crawl.
dragging her down to the
No,
cage.
like no, like how every 5 seconds he gave her food and water, and every time he drugged her with it. Like
Mm,
that's the creepiest I've ever seen Joe
I
ever.
know.
Like I don't know. like in the past, he has at least shown some type of rationality behind his actions. I don't know what rationale he was putting there.
Yeah, but Nadia, like I think all the characters. I had a lot of questions about how all the characters are going to be intertwined. I like one that they got away from the whole rich people group because none of them, like you said before in the first one, none of them were enjoyable. None of them were likable. They're all just like twats. So I'm glad that they got away from that story and focused more on Nadia and um and Kate. And so I liked how they intertwined Nadia's story, um, and obviously Marianne. And the whole thing about Nadia getting that plan B, that was like wild to me. I really thought Marianne died, and I'm like, yo, are you really gonna kill Marianne? The one with the fucking daughter? The one that's been a victim, nothing but innocent the whole time? You're just gonna kill her? I'm so glad Nadia had that plan. That literally blew my mind. Nadia is intelligent as fuck.
Yeah,
Now she's dead.
first of all, nice job with the British slang of twat. And second of all, I felt I like Nadia. My main gripe with her though is the main reason she got involved in this is because real life was nothing like a book. Like she's like, when's the last
Yes.
time you read a book where this and this happened? I'm like, is this really your fucking rationale behind getting involved in this? What the
Yeah.
fuck? And then Nadia played a big role, but then Phoebe played a minor role compared to that. And like we already talked about her and Dawn, but like also her and fucking piss boy McGee. God.
Yeah. I don't think their story mattered as much as I thought it was going to. Like
What's
they
wrong with
took up
some
so much
piss?
screen time.
Huh?
Yeah, man. Don't yuck
Have
people's
against
yums.
piss? Yeah, Alex is into piss, bro.
Hmm.
Wait, really?
That shit was disgusting. That shit was nasty.
Every
Would you look at me
time,
different, Moose, if I was?
yes, because
Yes.
I was looking at that guy different every time he was on screen. I'm like, please tell me he took a shower before he walked
You're
onto
just
the.
yucking his yums.
I don't give a shit. Fucking nasty,
That is
disgusting.
gross. That is gross. That's something only Alex could be into.
I am not into that.
But
But
like,
I don't
Oh
judge
my.
people who are. I'm just kidding.
But
I
like,
actually do.
Phoebe's role meant nothing. Like, even Kate's dad killing Phoebe's husband, that didn't even play a role because that's not the reason Joe went to go kill Tom. He killed
Hmm.
Tom because he was controlling Kate's life. So that whole subplot
But no.
was not necessary. I don't know why, because like they set up Phoebe. They set up Phoebe as the second richest person in that room. Like they said, like in like the first couple of episodes, it's like, oh wow, Phoebe's name carries a lot of weight in this group. And then they did nothing with that. And I don't understand why. Like like her epilogue was just she went to Thailand to teach kids English,
Yeah.
which is
That
all
was
well and
just
good,
so cheap.
but I don't think any of that was earned. Where was her arc?
Yeah. She was just rich and then oblivious and then drugged and then Thailand.
Like I thought they were gonna tie it back into the theme of innocence being corrupted.
What
They
would
did
you
that with
want to
Kate.
happen? Hmm?
What would I want to happen?
The Phoebe. Mr. Storyteller.
She and be involved in any kind of death. Like she be the one to kill her husband, and then she goes to jail.
Okay. But that doesn't contribute to the main plot line at all.
It contributes to the main theme, though, of innocence being corrupted.
Also, why did Joe forget the passcode? Did I miss something with that? Why did he forget the passcode of the cage?
Well, that was part of everything that he
That was his
forgot.
dream. That was the dream. He never forgot the passcode. That was a dream.
Oh. Right. Because right. Because she didn't actually have that allergic reaction. That was also part of
No.
his dream.
Yes.
Oh my god. So hard.
But
to
also, if also it hypothetically, if he did forget the passcode, Coop's right. It would be because it would be part of the things that he also forgot. Because if it's DID, he's not aware. And they never said DID, but they said, oh, he's dissociating, which I'm just assuming he has DID.
Pretty much.
But like, if he has the ID, then what Reese does, Joe would not be aware of. Not necessarily, at least.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I like how it differed overall from all the other seasons. It really solidified who Joe was. He had a whole arc, and now usually most arcs end positively, and his just went off the fucking deep end. I love the whole him going crazy, Beck, love,
Gemma,
what's
for
the other-
whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, that's okay. But love is still as crazy as always. I don't know what that actress does with her eyes, but it makes me fucking squirm. I don't want to be near her.
She steals the scene every single time she is on, and I love it. I am here for it.
It's so creepy, bro. She is crazy, but
She's just a great actor.
yeah,
That is just like the textbook definition of a great actor. Because like even if she's not saying much, facial expressions and body language, you get exactly what like the point of her being on the screen is.
hmm
So
Hi, Joe.
Okay. What do you guys want from the next season? Or what do you think is going
is
to
there
happen
a next season?
next season?
If
I'm
there is.
I
assuming.
think there's.
It'll
I
probably get
don't know
renewed,
why
because it's really popular.
I feel like it's going to be renewed because it's really popular, and also you finally have Joe in a position. He's in his hometown. He has all his resources, and he doesn't care about killing anymore. I wouldn't understand why you would now go like, okay, now we're done with the series. Because then by that logic, you could have been done with the series after season 3.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Because the thing is, I didn't answer this earlier, but when like the whole Reese thing, like I had no idea until it actually happened, right? But that's just
Mhm.
because I watch shows like when I start watching them, I just go so like into the show, and that's the way I like to watch them. So I'm even more interested and even more like surprised by
Yeah, like you
like
don't try
like
to analyze and predict
yeah.
stuff.
I don't really. I just try to like I watch in the moment pretty much, and that's like so that's why it's hard for me to make a prediction because especially the way it ended, it is so fucking like unpredictable. Like I can't think of anything honestly that
How
would
about
seem
what would you want from the next season?
I think it's ironic, and I'll answer that question, but I think it's ironic that Joe always hated the rich and the entitled, and then he's dating the richest out of all of them, and is basically becoming one of them just to be a serial killer. He's using her resources to become
I
the thing
mean,
he always hated.
that's true about Kate as well, because again, Tom Lockwood is described as a one-man Illuminati, and so with absolute power, that corrupts absolutely. Kate's gonna be a bitch by the end, from what I'm seeing, because
Yeah.
Joe's not gonna keep her good because he himself is not good.
Yep, they're just gonna. Are you? Yeah, but is it just gonna be another thing with love? And it's like the couple serial killers, the couple killers.
No,
No.
I think Kate's gonna be morally bad, but she's never gonna cross the line on actually killing someone.
yeah. I think I agree
So
with
like
that.
in this scenario, Kate would be the Joe and Joe would be Love.
Mm, okay, that makes sense. So also, I might have missed it, but how did Reese's death get covered up? What did Tom cover it up? Oh, because there wasn't enough evidence to link him or something like that.
So they just found Reese's body in the woods. And there's DNA on it, which Tom was gonna use as like basically
Leverage.
ultimatum, yeah, for whoever he needed
Mhm.
to frame. But now that Kate is in charge, she said, "Oh, the DNA was inconclusive."
Okay, so that's
And so they're just
Reese.
not.
And then how did he get off the hook with Tom? Because the other guy came in and he made it look like a murder suicide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
No,
he
not a
got-
murder suicide, just a murder, and then the other guy just disappeared with the money.
Oh,
But
he
Tom's
just-
is just plain
oh,
murder.
no. And then Nadia, the boyfriend. Oh my god. How does he fucking find solutions to all this? Okay, so now he's Joe Goldberg, not Jonathan Moore, right?
Yes.
And he's
No
in
more,
New York.
no more Jonathan Moore. No more Will Bettelheim. You're now just looking at clean-shaven Joe back in New York City.
Oh my god, it could literally go anywhere. I don't even have a prediction because there's so much that it could do.
Joe and Henry reunion.
Yeah, I would like Henry to somehow play a role. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
felt
think
like, you know how much they emphasize, like, oh, I have to put up with love. I have to stay here for you. I can't leave my son.
Hmm.
And then he just fucking left him, and now he doesn't even, like, I don't even care if they don't bring him back. He doesn't even, like, think about him or bring it
know.
up, bro. He's a fucking deadbeat, man.
I
He's
mean,
a
that's
dead-
true about all the child characters though. He doesn't think about Paco. He doesn't think about Jen Ortega's character, whatever her name is. What is her name?
Jenna Ortega's
Ellie.
character.
It was Ellie.
Ellie. He doesn't think about Ellie. He doesn't think about.
Yeah, but he has. But those aren't his, like, literal, like, child. Like,
Yeah.
that. Henry is his child. And the thing is with, like, Paco and Ellie and whatever other fucking characters there were, he cared about them, but he didn't care about them in the way that, like, the way he cared about Henry was he was literally willing to sacrifice everything. Like, or he was, like, gonna move his whole life because he didn't want to
Yeah.
stay with love, because he didn't want love corrupting Henry. But with Ellie and Paco, he was just kind of like, I'll protect these people, I'll look out for them.
And then they
And
moved on.
yeah, but he always prioritized himself. He didn't really move on with Ellie because he was sending, like, her the money for the books.
I mean, he is sort of moved on because he did not have money in season 4. So how?
Well, yeah,
is
now he
Ellie
moved
getting-
on. Now he moved on, but
So all
like,
of the
season 3.
conflicts and issues and arcs have pretty much all been resolved. So that's why I'm saying I kind of wish they just ended it, because sometimes good shows are like
They
drawn
drag
out
them.
and drag them.
They
Yeah,
drag,
so that's what I'm
yeah.
saying, because all of the conflicts have pretty much been resolved. Like the only conflict is the main story is basically what are Kate and Joe gonna do. There's no other side.
They're
conflict.
gonna fuck.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Whoa.
fuck.
They're gonna
Whoa, whoa,
shag,
whoa, whoa, whoa! I
shag in
mean,
the woods.
at the end of
God.
season 1, that's the same thing is also true. There's no really big any story arcs that need to be resolved besides,
What are you
Candace
saying,
is
bro?
back.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a huge story arc, Moose.
Okay, well then by
That's
that
somebody
logic,
he attempted murder on.
but
That
then
knows, and she's accusing him of the whole Beck situation. Like, she's like, I definitely, I know you did it again. She literally says that. So that's a
then this is-
huge place to go after that.
I just hope that the writers don't drag it on too long or make it worse. But they've been doing pretty good so far. I think this is one of the best seasons. So.
I think it's the best Netflix show.
Yeah. Low key.
I mean,
That's-
what else? There's not that many
Wednesday.
other candidates. Shut up.
Wednesday.
Shut up. That is, bro, this thing shits on Wednesday, bro.
No, this is like the perfect, because there's comedy, there's suspense, and there's drama. All in
We're
one.
talking about Wednesday, right? That's comedy.
Shut up,
No.
dude. You're so biased,
Drama?
bro.
You
You're
just
just
want to
in
fuck
love
Jenna
with
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega.
That's not
Yeah.
true, though. That's not
Yes,
true,
it
though.
is.
Why
No,
else
it's
would
not.
you enjoy this mid show?
Because I like the
How would
show.
you think of Ellie as Jenna Ortega's character?
Because I don't remember season 2. I've said multiple times I don't like season 2.
I just don't get how you can watch this last season of You and even all the other seasons and conclude that Wednesday is better. It's just a stupid, ridiculous take.
Well, Breaking Bad He's also a candidate.
Yeah, I haven't finished Breaking Bad yet, though. I'm in the
I
middle
thought
of
we were
season
talking
2.
about best Netflix show.
It's on Netflix, is it not?
Yeah,
Just
I
because
think
it's
he meant
on
like best
Netflix.
Netflix original.
Oh, you mean Netflix original? Okay.
No, I don't mean anything. I didn't say that. Coop said best Netflix show. So I don't know what he meant like by that. I just thought.
I mean,
meant
I was
Netflix
talking
original.
about Netflix original, but we could throw like any show on Netflix on like into the discussion. I still think you is a pretty strong candidate.
Yeah. They wrapped it up very well. Very impressed. And I guess I look forward to the next season. It's probably not going to be out until like a year later.
I mean, they did just finish it. I wouldn't expect
I
it to
Yeah,
be
know.
out any
relax,
sooner.
man. Relax,
I know.
relax.
I'm just a little
Can you
impatient.
calm down? Can you calm down?
Oh, Mose, what did you
Something
think?
stupid incoming.
What did you think about Antihero, man? Did you start
Oh
getting
my
into
god!
Oh my
I did.
god, bro! Why did
I
you have to
loved it.
mention it?
I loved it. I loved the sound design. I loved the
I'll
music
give it to
choices.
them. I'll give it to them. It was a very well placed song. It was very
Great wrap up
great
song.
place to put that. Yeah, I agree. It was a good place to put the song. It doesn't change
Oh
the
my
fact that the
god.
song is dog shit and overplayed.
You're complimenting Taylor Swift.
Bro, the song is not even that bad, bro, right? I would give it like a solid 5 out of 10. But because of the million times that I fucking heard it, it's a fucking 2, bro. I can't listen to a song, bro. It could be what's a fucking banger of a song.
What was
If
your
I
reaction
listen
when
to,
it came on? The
bro,
Antihero.
I got mad.
That's
Bro, when I hear that song, I get mad, bro. Okay, right? So like Stronger by Kanye West, right? That's like one of my favorite songs all time, right? If I listen to that fucking 8 times a day, I would get fucking sick of it and think it was dog shit too, bro. Like,
not most. Most can listen to it 100 times
how
a day.
I don't know how, bro. Oh my
That's how I
god,
listen
man.
to all. That's how I listen to all my
Every
songs.
every fucking hour on the hour, the fucking shitty anti-hero
Not
comes
anymore
out,
though.
bro. Yeah, because that changed the radio thing at work.
I felt like though, the people in you, they just took my old obsessed playlist and just put it into the show, and I am here for it. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Shut
Gregory and
up.
Anthony.
Wow, they really listen to you, man.
That's right. I am a producer, basically.
Yeah, probably a producer for the first half. That's why I was so fucking dog shit.
Fuck off. Fuck you.
Sorry.
Good one.
Uncalled for. Uncalled for.
But now
Ah.
I do think.
What do
Okay,
you
so
think,
let's say each part is its own separate season. How would you rank it now?
Oh, like 5 seasons basically with 4
Oh,
being
okay.
Yeah.
split. Okay, so the best. Oh no, I'll start from bottom. The worst was obviously season 4, part 1.
Okay.
Then I would go season 2. Then season 1, season 4, part 2, and then season 3.
That's basically
Yep.
mine.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
Season 4 part
I
1 was
loved season
disappointing.
3 was just so great, man. It had
I know.
everything I wanted in that season, bro. Like their new home, like the town. I love the side characters too. Like I thought Natalie was like an interesting first kill because I thought she was gonna be like the
the main character.
whole episode or like the
Yeah.
whole season. And then you got people like even who was the other fucking like Sherry and that other dude.
Oh, they were so funny, bro.
They were annoying but in the
Sherry
right
and
way.
Carrie.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Sherry Carey, that was his name. They were annoying but in the right way.
Yeah.
Like the part where they shot each other in the fucking cage. That shit was comedy.
Yeah. That's still the best season. But they still wrapped this
It
up
was
really good.
just like, yeah, this was a great season. Like if that's
Yeah,
for
it was
me,
great.
that was honestly like if you're talking about Netflix shows seasons, that's like a 10 out of 10. I don't know what gets better than season 3 of You. I think that and like the first season of Stranger Things is up there for me. And then like this season 4 part 2, if you're just talking about part 2, I think it's like a solid 9.
It's interesting because a lot of the time shows get worse as they go on.
Yeah,
For
because like
example, Riverdale,
I
and
didn't watch Riverdale.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, I liked 13 Reasons Why the first season, and then Tyler got a broom stuck up his ass, and everything went downhill.
And Stranger Things, I believe that's gone downhill.
All of a
But
sudden, Moose has 13 Reasons Why on in his room now because he heard somebody gets a broom stuck in their ass.
But
Bro, that part made me like so physically uncomfortable.
know.
It was insane, bro. Like I was laying on my bed when I was watching it, and I was like, bro,
Your butt clenched.
my ass hurts. Oh, my ass hurts. It was the weirdest shit ever.
Okay, I'll just end it off with this. The way Rotten Tomatoes scores all of it is season 1's at 94%, season 2's at
Yep.
87, season 3 is at 93, and season 4 is at 92.
Whoa.
I mean, they're all
Yeah.
high. That's basically what we said. They're all high. I mean, you're
Except
comparing
season
season 2 is you're saying it's the worst, but you're comparing it to like really good ones. So yeah. that
No,
makes
I
sense.
Yeah, and
mean,
I think-
even if I took season 2 at its own face value without any of the other seasons in mind, I still don't think it's a good season of television.
Damn.
I think, but it's predicated a lot on backstory. That's what makes it hard. Because like
season 2,
season
two
one,
is a transition.
season one, season one is like it's all the new concept introduction. Then season 3 is all exploring what they build on in season 2. But in season 2, they're transitioning everything that you learn in season 1 to a new spot, and then also setting up for the banger that was season 3. So I think that Rotten Tomatoes ratings were good. I think honestly, I feel like all of our opinions on it were pretty like interesting, and it shows all the different perspectives that you actually can get from watching it because it's not all going to be the same. But I think we got a good like using Alex word, good spectrum of opinions.
Woo!
Stop, Stellar.
For listening, please go check us out on any other podcasting platforms. We are literally everywhere that you can find a podcast. And please go let us know how you find season 4, part 2 of You. Anyways, have a great
Donate
day.
to our GoFundMe. Donate
Yes.
to our
Bye.
GoFundMe.
We need to go to Tokyo.
Also, yes, please go listen. If you're listening, go listen to this again on Spotify because that's the only place we get paid. Bye bye.
And
Donate.
My
Donate.